¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos?
Since 1986, CHIRLA's hotline has been mitigating the fears of immigrants, providing support and referring them for help in their local areas. CHIRLA's hotline receives well over 5,000 calls a year, with callers asking a vast array of questions from immigration law to workers' rights, public benefits, and even how to deal with an ICE raid. Today we have a very special guest here at CHIRLA TV, Elizabeth Rodriguez from CHIRLA. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much for having me, Edgar. Yes, like he mentioned, my name is Elizabeth Rodriguez. I am the Information and Referral Specialist here at CHIRLA, and I assist what we call the hotline. So the hotline has been started since 1986, but I actually started hotline in 2013. So it's about to be about almost 6 years.
6 years with
assisting
CHIRLA.
the hotline, yes, and with CHIRLA, exactly.
So how do you get involved with CHIRLA? How do you find out about them? And then what made you want to be part of the hotline
So
team?
I actually started with CHIRLA as an intern through a public ally program. And before I was able to go full on, I had to get multiple trainings, because with the hotline, you need to know how to navigate the questions that are coming in, right? It could be from one extreme to the other. So we took multiple trainings. One of them, it was an immigration law 40-hour training, where it include from DACA, deferred action for young arrivals, naturalization, U visas, and we don't only focus on immigration, but we also focus on other aspects or other issues, I could say, like housing rights, workers' rights, civil rights, access to healthcare. And so we take multiple trainings in order for us to be able to introduce and navigate the situation in a way where the person could feel safe and, you know, a little more secure, a little more open to share a little bit more about their story, and be able to refer them where somewhere it's accredited, and eliminate fraud, because that is the ultimate goal. How could we eliminate fraud in our communities?
Of course, and also eres bilingüe.
Sí, soy
También
bilingüe.
inglés, español, so anybody can reach out to the hotline.
Sí, inglés y el español. Ya si es otro lenguaje,
Todavía
ya es un
poquito a
complicado, pero sí le tratamos de ayudar a la persona lo más que se pueda. Yeah.
Claro que sí, bueno, que no, es excelente. Y en esta hotline, supongo que has escuchado muchas historias, you've heard a lot of different stories, and you still manage to navigate, like you said, approach the subject in a very welcoming way so that the person feels safe.
And that is the ultimate goal. You know, we want to communicate to the community, this is a safe space. This is where we want you to call, regardless if you think we could help you or not. We want you to call in, and we always try our best to pinpoint you to the right direction. And that is what hotline is all about. You know, yes, we do focus on certain issues, but we always try to find the way. And we'll also be honest with the individual. Hey, you know what? Unfortunately, we're not able to help with that specific issue.
But you can always refer them
But I could always refer them somewhere where they could go to the right direction. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you mentioned hours of training. How was that for you? Like,
a lot of information, very overwhelming. Obviously, you know, it's not everything at once. It is
in segments.
In segments,
yeah, cool.
and different topics. But definitely a lot of information. But that's the beauty of my job. You know, you're able to know a little bit of everything, and be able to help that individual who's in need, you know, depending on the issue. We do get about approximately 5,000 to 6,000 a year. So imagine that. That is a very high demand. And that is only the calls that are being recorded through our intake form. There's a lot of calls that are missed. So that's just a rough estimate. But it could be more. It could be more.
And of course, it's not missed because people you don't want to answer them. It's just like the bandwidth that currently you have. So you definitely need to expand on on that hotline, and that's essentially what we want. We want to make sure that we're able to support CHIRLA's hotline with as much as we can, bringing more people on board to expand the bandwidth of the hotline.
Yeah, eventually, you know, that is the ultimate goal, expansion. But as right now, you know, we try to navigate through the calls as much as we can. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's still 5,000 to 6,000 calls. It's a lot of support.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Well, we'll be right back here with Elizabeth talking about the hotline at CHIRLA.
¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos?
Welcome back. I'm here with Elizabeth Rodriguez, the referral specialist at CHIRLA, and that's something that I wanted to talk about, the referral, how it works when someone reaches, well, okay, let's talk from the beginning. Let's say I'm calling to the hotline, and what happens? So I'm calling, and then what goes on?
Yeah, so we receive a lot of calls, and you know, once a call comes in, I answer and I tell them, hi, you have reached CHIRLA. How can we help you today? And then usually people don't necessarily know how to express, you know, the need. So I have to hear the story, right? From beginning to end, you know, they express like very detailed. And from there, I'm able to pinpoint what are the issues and what is the actual need. And so I express to them like, okay, I understand the priority. You're in need of an attorney. You know, we're going to connect you. But I also encourage you to go to these other places, right? So whatever the need may be. So maybe an example could be the person is calling because there's a family who is detained.
Okay.
Right? And so, okay, I understand. And then we're going to locate your family members. So I locate them, what detention they're in, if I'm able to do that, because there are times where I'm not able to because the lack of information or whatever it may be. But I always try my best. When we locate them, then it depends on where are they detained, because if it's locally, then I invite them to a CHIRLA consult. Okay. I'm like, hey, you know what? The organization actually has attorneys available. You could come in on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Doors open at 8 a.m. and we assist and guarantee the first 20 in the line. So that is always something that I push for, to come in with CHIRLA. If they are out of state, then we do have a nonprofit database. With the zip code, I'm able to find accredited nonprofits in their areas. And so I provide those referrals. Hey, write down these referrals. You could call them, and that way you could get assisted on the legal situation, right? But if it's a different issue, like if it's workers' rights, housing, or they want to apply for bankruptcy, family law, then it's more local.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, so, and this has been since 1986, okay, people? So we have built out our referrals throughout many years, and these referrals are, you know, partnerships that we have done throughout the years, locally.
Yeah, I have here public libraries, LA County.
As well. Yes, we've connected with the libraries, with the consulates, nonprofits, and so these are accredited, you know, institutions where people could go and actually get assisted. And again, elimination of fraud. That's something that we want to prevent from our community members, because unfortunately there is a lot of fraud out there right now. So that's kind of like how it works. You know, people call in, they let us know about their issue. And again, you know, it doesn't always have to be immigration, even though the organization, that is the main focus. But there are other issues that people call in for, and we try to navigate the situation and connect them where they're going to actually get assisted. So that is the beauty of the hotline.
Yeah, right? No, I find it really, really fascinating how you and your team are getting all this training, and you're able, like you said, you're able to pinpoint. You listen to the conversation, and you're able to understand what their needs are and guide them in the right direction. And this is all under pressure.
Yes, and imagine, you know, there's so many callers coming in, and sometimes, you know, a call could take 15 to 20 minutes, because there's just so much going on that they're trying to express and need guidance from, right? So we try to, help every caller as quickly as we can, because we understand that there's other callers in need as well, right? But I mean, there's only so much we could do due to capacity. But again, the goal is to expand and grow and be able to reach to more callers and be able to help them in their need, right?
Yeah, I've actually heard of a story of a case of a guy who reached out to the hotline and was looking. I don't know if it was housing or he reached out for something, and eventually through that process you were able to help him not only with what he needed, but go a little bit step further and help him with naturalization.
Yes. So this particular caller that you're speaking of, he actually called in because he wanted to retire.
Oh, retire.
He wanted to go out of state, but he was only a green card holder. So I was explaining to him that in order for him to be able to retire, he has to become a U.S. citizen. And he wasn't really understanding that. And so I had to explain how things actually work. And I encouraged him to to apply for citizenship, for naturalization.
Wow, that's a great story with a happy ending. We're going to be right back to talk a little bit more about the hotline and the work of Elizabeth at CHIRLA.
¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos?
Welcome back here to CHIRLA TV. We were talking about the hotline and how the intake works, how you're able to connect people refer people to the organization that might be able to assist them if CHIRLA is unable to do so. But something that is very important to note, I feel, especially in today's day and age, is the security of the person calling, their data, essentially. I'm sure that CHIRLA is a trusted organization and their data is safe, but can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so, again, based on under the administration that we're on right now, there's a lot of fear, right? And there's a lot of trauma. And so people do not know where to call, like where is an actual, they don't know who to trust, right? But since we're very out there and the community has communicated to me, we trust CHIRLA. We trust what you say, right? And so we appreciate that, and we let them know, this is a safe space, right? This is a safe call. Everything is kept confidential. This is just, for the information that we ask. And we normally don't ask any specifics. We just ask, what is your name? What is your zip code? And that's all we want to know, right? And this is just for us to be able to know where are people calling us from, more like data, for the most part. But we do let them know, this information stays here. There's confidentiality, right? And so people feel safe, and they feel safe enough to be able to express, what they're actually feeling. And I'm able to, just tell them everything is going to be okay, right? And we're going to connect you. And so that's kind of what it is, and essentially that's what we want to communicate out there to the community. This is a safe space for you to call. Again, if we're not able to help, we'll try to pinpoint you to the right direction, right? And so.
What about if someone's reaching out to the hotline, but not specifically because they need assistance, but given, like you mentioned, today's extremely negative rhetoric that there is against immigrants, they want to show their support. So I'm sure you also receive those passionate calls of people looking to help.
Yes, we do, and we love those type of calls. People call and they want to support CHIRLA, and they want to know how, whether it be by, going to a CHIRLA event or by donating or becoming a CHIRLA volunteer. So people call and they say, hey, I want to be an ally. How could I support the organization with everything that is going on? And there's so many issues that have been going on, right? Like the most recent right now, El Paso, Texas, the shootings, big raid, right? 680 in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And so people call, people are watching, people are paying attention, and then they call us, hey, like, how could we support? What could we do? What could be done? And so the beauty of the organization is that there's other departments, and I'm able to connect them, right? Oh, well, you know what, let me connect you to organizing, or let me connect you to policy, and, you know, so that you could have that conversation and be more involved in the movement, right? What's going on? So yeah. So yes, we also get those types of callers. yes, we do.
No,
and we love them.
So you get the calls from people who need the support. You also get calls from people who want to support. But there's another group that I'm sure also calls to CHIRLA, and those are, you know, the angry people who are against immigrants, who are building up this rhetoric. So do you also get, would they be called hate calls?
Yes, so we call those hate calls. They're also welcome to call the hotline. I mean, the hotline is for everyone, right? And so we do get those type of calls, and sometimes, you know, they're frightening, and all you could do is just listen, right? And not build that anger, right? Because that's not what we're about, and we're not there to opinionate. We're just there to listen, right? And yeah, and their point is well taken. We record it, and we listen to them, and we thank them, you know, for their phone call. That's all we could do, right? But yeah, and they also leave us voicemails, you know, and I do record those. We record them, and we report those calls, right? Like for our safety of our community, because we never know the intention, right? One time it could be a phone call, the next we don't know what could happen. So we do take those calls seriously, and we record them. There's a protocol. But we do receive those calls as well. Yes.
Well, mad respect to you being able to navigate all these different types of calls, from the supporter to the one who needs support to the one who wants us out. Like, it's wonderful the work that you do, but we'll be right back.
¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos?
Welcome back to CHIRLA TV. Elizabeth, you receive all these different phone calls, all these different, whether from both extremes, and I understand that you also work with the Rapid Response Network here in California?
Yes, we do. So we get callers reporting potential ICE raids. And so we have a series of questions that we ask the individual, and we have a team where they respond, right? They make sure that it's actually happening, and confirm, right? But yes, we do get those type of calls as well, letting us know, like, hey, we think we saw ICE in the corner of So Street, right? Or we saw vans, or anything like that. Sometimes they're not very specific, but people do call. Okay. And so we also want to let you know that the hotline is also a safe space for you to let us know of any activity that you think might be ICE. Please let us know. Let us know.
Beyond immigration, is there anything in specific that really stuck with you in any of this thousands of calls that you answer? Anything that you feel very proud of?
Yes, I mean, there's so many calls that come in, and it's just hard to share one specific story, right? Because there's so many. But one of them that just reminds me, and it sticks very close to me, she was an immigrant mother and single mother with her son, and she was expressing how she didn't have the money to pay the light bill, and she was gonna have the social worker come in the next day. And so she knew that if there was no light, they could potentially take away her son. And so she was expressing, you know, how it was really hard for her to get a job due to her status. And so she was seeking for help. She didn't know what to do. And she just felt very devastated. You know, she's like, we are eating frijoles, you know, like, and I just feel so bad, like I don't know what to do to help my son, right? And so, you know, I was able to find a program called HIT, and where they pay your light bill and your gas bill. So I was able to connect her, gave her the number. She called and she got her light bill paid. And so little simple things like that could make a huge difference, you know, like. And so that was an impactful story. But there's just so many that come in. It could be the smallest thing where, you know, they are in need of food or shelter, and be able to find those places for them so they could survive another day.
Of course. So it's a lot of work that is bestowed upon you and your team. Would you like to maybe invite the community to make a contribution?
Yes. So I mean, I invite everyone. Like I mentioned, we receive all type of calls. Whatever you may need, call us. But I do want to ask, you know, for those who are interested in donating to the cost, you know, again, like I mentioned, our goal is to expand so we are able to help more callers in need. So if you find it interesting and you want to help, whether it be volunteering or making a donation, please give us a call. Everything is welcomed.
And speaking of calls, what's the number that people should be reaching?
Yes, so please call us. And before I provide the number, so the CHIRLA hotline, it operates Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But people are welcome to leave a voicemail 24 hours of the day. And we try to return the calls within 48 hours or less if we can. So just please be patient with me and my teammates. We try our best to return the calls as soon as possible, but just want you to know that. But yes, please give us a call at 1-888-624-4752. Please call us.
Well, there you have it. If there's anything that you need, please reach out to CHIRLA's hotline. We'll be able to assist you. Elizabeth and her team are always happy to lend a hand. That's all the time that we have today here at CHIRLA TV. We really appreciate you joining us. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next week.
Call us.
Call us.
¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos? ¿Quiénes somos?